Hi, it's Kim Marie. I want to talk today about holding on to resentment and what that does to us. I spoke before about energy, about it, about resending energy, and I used resentment as resending energy. And I want to really talk about that because it all sounds logical until we get into a situation where we don't know what to do with that energy that feels like stress, feels like anxiety, feels like attack, feels like we're being victimized in some way. And that's usually what makes us hold on to resentment. And to me, what resentment is it's retelling or resending the same story over and over and over in our mind, which lands in our body and becomes our experience. So while life is a playground and we're learning, we can learn from every situation, and things get presented to us to allow us to stretch and grow, right? So just for instance, I had taken a class recently a few months ago, and in that it was a week-long class, and it had certain things that were going to happen on each day. And one of the things was we were going to do meditation in the morning. So the night before, we had this whole healing process. It was so powerful and beautiful. And then it was recommended that we take some quiet time. Try not to chat with the other people in the group. When we get up in the morning, get up ready to meditate. Come in quietly. Don't have a conversation. Just allow this to settle within you. And when I showed up that morning, my friend and we didn't talk on the way over. We really honored that for ourselves because meditation is so powerful and very important for me to start my day. And when I got in, everyone was just chatting and laughing and roaring first thing in the morning. So I pulled myself back and said, okay, I can't tell them what to do, but I can go into the room and just keep my quiet and get ready before the meditation. And when the new instructor came in, he came in the same energy as the people that were just roaring and chatting, and it was very disruptive for me because I was expecting that we were going to create the foundation. So I felt like I didn't get what I was expecting, that was offered. And then when I pointed it out to the instructor, he was like, well, he's talking about the news. He's talking about things that aren't relevant. I felt like he was riling up the group more than bringing us down. And it just made me feel like I wasn't getting what I paid for, but also I wasn't being honored. So I told this story. This happened a couple of months ago. And I thought, well, what should I do about it? Now, typically what I would do is pull the instructor aside separately, maybe, and have a conversation, or have a conversation with the establishment that I bought the program from. And I just went back and forth about whether I should or what I should do. So I brought it up to one of the other instructors who I had been with yesterday, and she didn't want to hear what I had to say before coming to a conclusion and jumping me and cutting me off and asking me what my responsibility in it is, which again, in doing deeper work, there is always a responsibility. There is always a mirror. Like, how do you claim your peace? And in that class, I did claim my peace. When I felt like I couldn't get what I was expecting, I did my own little way of grounding myself. So I didn't allow the morning practice to ruin the rest of the class. So I feel like I really did get in there. But then when I felt dismissed or attacked yesterday when I was trying to have the conversation, it sent me back into wanting to hold on to that position, because I was telling this story, in other words, saying, is this a regular practice, or if I do another class here, what can I expect? And I was met with almost like, well, it's up to me. It's my, I brought that in or something. I don't know. Anyway, it made me feel attacked. But the reason I'm telling you this is because this happens in life, right? We push it to the side, kind of like I did. I never really resolved the issue. I didn't have another conversation. I did have a small conversation with the instructor, and he just seemed to be stuck on the fact that he was going to do it his way, right? So I didn't push it any further. But clearly it still bothered me for me to have brought it up. And I say this to say that is resentment. That if we carry a piece of it that is unexpressed, it lands in your body. So then I noticed that I marinated in my mind with the story going round and round in my head. How am I responsible? What can I do? What should I do? Why did I get treated that way? And falling into this. So that energy is just going to take you down a slope, and it's a very familiar slope. It's a slope you've felt before. It's a slope of, I don't feel important. I feel victimized. I don't feel heard. I don't feel valued, right? What else does it feel like? I feel taken advantage of. So there's all of those things that didn't really happen. They didn't get created from this story. It's an old tape that it just kind of piles onto, and this makes this big mountain. And that's what resentment can do. And when it lands in our body, and it's just, we keep doing this over and over, that's how our body is unable to be at ease, therefore can create dis-ease, right? So it's about being sure to catch your habit. So if it is a workout, there's a couple of things we need to do. We can either, for me in this situation, confront the situation and just have my voice heard, say what my suggestions are, and maybe they will never get met, right? But I get to decide if I ever want to take another class there again. But using my voice sometimes is a good thing, because it allows me to be the advocate for what I feel the way we should have been treated, the way it should have been handled, right? Based on what I was expecting. And again, they can agree or not agree. I'm not going to go in, if I'm going to use my voice, I'm not going to go in expecting them to do anything that other than receive it, because people are going to do what they do. So if I do that, if I decide to write a letter, it's going to be for me. It's going to be to get it out of me. Another way to do it is just say, okay, what did I learn from this situation? Well, I learned that I have to be clear. And maybe I also learned that I know how to ground myself in a situation like that where I'm thrown out and feeling frustrated and feeling disempowered. I did claim my power back. I did get back into my centeredness, and I did get a huge amount out of the program, regardless of the fact that it was incongruent in many ways, right? So I still was able to test my strength. So then the question is, do I want to do that again in that kind of situation? Maybe, maybe not. But that's another way, is just to let it go and say, okay, just like when you do a workout, yes, it can be hard, but these are the muscles that I realize I have, and this is where I succeeded, and I'm willing to let that go. But a lot of times, to let energy go, we have to shift it in some way. And we can do that in a physical way. We can do that with releasing energy out of our body in many ways. It could be shaking. It could be jumping jacks. It could be push-ups. It could be taking a run. It could be cleaning, right? It could be anything that is utilizing some energy, or even taking a walk. Like a lot of times when I take a long walk, I get a lot of answers when I do that, because all of a sudden you're moving energy, and for whatever reason, it's like whenever you feel stuck or you feel like at an impasse, you have to move the energy. So to me, the easiest way is physically, because we can get ourselves so crazy emotionally or mentally trying to figure it out. And again, I've said this 1,000 times, we can't solve a problem in the energy it was created. That's what I mean by that. I mean that if we're sitting in it trying to solve that problem and we're still in that mindset, we're never going to get the answers. So the answers come from doing something different, and usually it's not the thing that's going to solve the problem, right? So usually it is going to be a physical burst of some kind, and it could be laughing, it could be just, there's so many ways to just shift the physical energy. So what I did was I took a walk, and when I took a walk, I realized that they were doing what the best that they could, and then at the time. But then I also realized that based on the defensiveness from the second person, it told me that they weren't ready to hear. They weren't ready to look at, like they weren't. I don't know that they're ready to look at what that this kind of feedback. So whether I can still give the information or not, but it's where people are. It's meeting them where they are, and then meeting yourself where you are, and doing what you need to set yourself up to win next time around. And that's what we do have control over. So that is, hopefully it was clear. That's my message for today, is to let go of resentment, because the only person that's hurting is you. The only person that's taking down is you. And if we had investment options and we had a certain amount of energy, and we put all our energy on this side of the board is all the positive emotions. When we can get over here as quickly as possible, we're going to be in manifesting. We're going to be like a magnet. We're going to be bringing lots of good into our lives. And when we're on this side, when we're in judgment, and we're in disempowerment, and we're in confusion, and we're in all of these things that just suck the life out of us, then our energy gets depleted, and our body can start breaking down, and our life is just not as joyous. So let go of resentment. Get back over here as quickly as possible. It's not fake it until you make it, but think about the things that bring you back. Think about the things that make you happy. Think about the things that you can learn from situations, or just get out of your head and get into your body and get into movement, and your body will move you forward. That's my message for today. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.